Hello, world, and welcome to another new episode of the AI podcast by Team Copilot. These are your hosts, Jeroen and Femke over here. Femke, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. How are you?
I'm also fine. So last
Are you
week,
busy?
always, work, community stuff, always busy. Last week we had a recording of a new episode of AI in every city, which was
True.
quite cool.
That was nice. We were at Amsterdam,
Yes, our hometown.
our hometown. Yeah, that was really nice. We did some pretty good scenarios on traveling and learning with Copilot and sharing our knowledge there. That was fun, and the weather was really nice. I really enjoyed Amsterdam as well. Walking down the street, good weather.
The weather was perfect. And we used a lot of Copilot in WhatsApp during that series. So if you would like to learn more about Copilot in WhatsApp, we'll keep you posted. I think it will be released next week or something. So
it was really easy to use. So for everyone, our possibilities for everyone who want to use Copilot with or without a licensing.
Yeah, or if you're feeling lonely, it's also interesting because this is the Copilot that asks questions back.
Yeah, that's really true, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes we heard from people that they say, okay, with ChatGPT gives me some questions back. It's more like a conversation, and with Copilot, it's only bringing me stuff, and then it's done, right? We
Exactly.
as a human need to ask questions again, but not on Copilot on WhatsApp. It's a real conversation. When you ask something, you get a response about how it was and how you feel and that kind of things. It's funny, yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the flowers?
yeah. The flowers were really good. They were really nice flowers.
Yeah. So if you want to learn more about the flowers, watch AI in every city. So you are quite busy. Is there any moment that you thought, let's automate myself and make a Copilot that is actually a copy of Femke?
Yes, but first of all, I started today with Copilot asking if I'm busy, because I know you going to ask that question. So that's a really good prompt about, hey Copilot, from a scale to 100, how busy am I? And I'm also watched Viva Insights to see how busy I really are. And it's really nice to see all that kind of results. For example, what kind of meetings I have, but also like report on how many meetings I have and how many hours I spend on meetings. So yes, I think I'm busy. That was the answer of that I got from Copilot.
I dare you to share some numbers, actually. How many hours in meetings? What was the rate?
Ooh, I don't want to share it here. No, but I really need to automate myself. That's one thing that I was taught. Yeah, I really need to do something with that. So that's also where we're going to discuss today in our podcast. What can we do to automate ourselves? And I think like M365 Copilot is something that we are, I and I think you too, but everything we do, we think about, okay, do we need to do this by ourselves, or can Copilot help us with this? So everything when we start, like a new project or conversation in a chat, or making something for the community or in our organization, every time it's okay, do I need to do this by myself, or can Copilot make like a concept, or I can make a concept and I ask Copilot to make it better, for example.
Or provide feedback, or it's
that's
a really helpful friend.
but that is, I think, a habit that we use, or we really understand for us, because we are really doing that every day. But the next step is, of course, how can you make it more like automating yourself? So not only asking Copilot questions and doing things, but what is the next step? Can I ask Copilot a thing and also do it for me as well.
That's where agents are becoming interesting. But let me first ask a question to you. If you would like to automate yourself, is everything you're doing already described? Do we have a document of all the stuff that you're doing?
Everything that I do at my home, the dishes, the wash. No, I don't think I have described everything what I do, like the whole day, but I think a lot of things can be automated if I want in the future. But yeah, that's a really good question. For example, like the meetings that I have, that I now ask Copilot to give me a summary of that and give me the task of that. But I don't want.
It would be even better if you don't have that meeting and people can go to an agent or a custom Copilot, ask their question there, and let the Copilot respond as if it was you.
Yeah. Now, for example, I think in our organization is that I get a lot of questions about Copilots, about scenarios that we see, customers that we are working with, contacts of Microsoft, new products, things. A lot of questions came to me if I know who's the right person, what kind of scenario we did with other customers. Are there some use cases that we can use with other customers of learnings somewhere? Yeah, I think I can make like an agent for that with all that kind of information that's now in my head, but probably other people also can use, and I'm not the person that needs to be in that. That's something that I was thinking about.
Yeah, and while you're telling all the scenarios that you're dealing with, the engineer myself was already thinking, okay, we can describe that, upload that document to Copilot Studio, then train the Copilot and let people ask questions to that Copilot and have it respond like it was Femke. Because most of the things that I'm currently hearing that you are telling me, we can automate them. Let's start with the basic one. Connecting people with each other. Who should I ask questions about a certain scenario? You have a list in your head, probably. With
I have a list,
yeah, with the knowledge of the people. And we can create an Excel for that.
I already have one.
It is already described. Awesome. Yes. Then we can upload that to a Copilot Studio and create an agent out of that, or a custom Copilot. And people can ask to that Copilot, who should I ask questions about data security? And then the Copilot is looking up in the Excel and see data security. That's Jeroen. But that saves you time.
Yeah, I think we need to do this yesterday and not today or tomorrow, because I think it's really helped me in my time to have something like this.
Yeah, that's we can create that. And also the other scenarios, I think all the stuff that you do with Copilot, these scenarios, most of it is also described, I guess so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So that's based on documents or information that is already there, already exists somewhere. So it's really fun thing to find that, bring it all together and get that information, but as well like making proposals for customers, for example. I think that's also something that you really can use for some automation. Of course, you're the best.
That's where I use Copilot a lot. So we do a lot of RFPs in the security world, and those often come with a lot of documents, customer requirements, stuff that we
make a summary of.
So what I most of the time do nowadays is create a custom Copilot, upload all the documents that we're getting from the customer to that to Copilot Studio, to that custom Copilot. And then I can ask questions about the stuff that we uploaded. But also, there are a lot of requirements that your service needs to, how should I call it? the customer most of the time has a lot of requirements, and we need to describe what we are doing to fulfill that requirement. I'm also uploading documents like our service description, technical documentation of the service that we provide, bring it all together, and then let Copilot answer or create that description. And it works
that's
perfect.
fantastic. It's fun. Yeah, that's really good. So you have like a concept that you can use and make it better, but Copilot helps you with the first start of that.
Yeah, certain. It does. Yeah.
Also, our HR and recruitment in our organization is using different HR documents, bringing them together, and we can use like Copilot Studio or our Copilot ask questions about descriptions in the HR documents, or how many days I can have time off for this year. Here, a lot of days, but that kind of questions, or how is with our cars, car things. But yeah, all that kind of documents you can bring together, and the questions that HR get a lot, put that in all your documents, and let Copilot helps you with the first questions.
Create a virtual HR Copilot. That's possible. But a thing that goes to my mind, you were talking about recruitment and AI. I'm always having ethical questions when recruitment and AI go together, because I know every AI has bias in it. They probably, every recruiter is using AI to analyze stuff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a good one. I hear that you can be really far with that, using different AI tools, helping with if people are lying or cheating in their conversations and all that kind of stuff, of also like uploading their documents that they send you with their profile, for example, that you can scan it to AI, see if it's really true what people say, or the style of communication is used by an AI, for example, all that kind of things. So I think that goes really far. I don't know if I'm really okay with it, if people using that, but
that's actually what I'm thinking.
But the other thing is, it's also good if someone use it for themselves, right? To use making the profile.
But
get it better, like a concept, and helping them.
Yeah, but then it's AI writing the CV.
Yeah.
And also AI analyzing the CV.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I think it's good to have, like, if you have a conversation and you can use Copilot and you have a summarize and you have things that you discuss that you can send to other people in the organization where the conversation was all about, and give that information to your colleagues. I think that's really helpful, and it's not about the things about how the conversation was personally and how one person was by themselves.
So what I'm thinking of all the stuff that I read about the Copilot agents, that also agents can help over there, and not just by analyzing. They probably can, but I will not dive into that rabbit hole. But Copilot agents can trigger based on stuff. For example, receiving an email. How cool is it that the agent can receive the email of someone that wants to work at the company, automatically logs a entry in the recruitment system,
but
post the CV over there and responds, we have received your CV, thank you, we'll get into touch as soon as possible.
And get it to do on your in your to-do list, and watch like what it is and what kind of person it is, and on the requirements that you give Copilots, for example, or the agents. Yeah, I think it's really interesting if you look at like M365 Copilots and your personal productivity. We think it's going to change everything, and when we work with M365 Copilots in the start, we are really energized, but then we think, okay, it's really personal productivity. It helps me with a lot of things, but is this the really game changing way? I don't think so. But with agents, I think this is where the magic really going to happen, with cost efficiency, time efficiency, helping really automatic things. I think this is a real new um, big thing, next big thing.
Yes, it's a whole new dimension that gets open. If we look at the past, Copilot, but also ChatGPT and all the other AIs, they are just generating text. And now we have AIs that can do stuff for us, and really automate the process.
But what are you going to find out if you are working with agents? What is the first thing in your mind? What you want to do for your own role or your own thing? Where do you
Oh,
going to use it for?
that's a good question. Probably something with calendar management. I hope I can build. Yeah, I don't have a assistant that helps me managing my calendar. So, um, am I able to create an agent that manage my calendar? That will be awesome.
Hmm.
And from what I've seen, we can create some kind of flow and also let Copilot decide what things to do. So if I need to go to an appointment, let's say somewhere at a customer, it automatically can block some time for traveling. It can block some time for preparing the meeting.
Yeah.
I hope it can help me there.
Can you can you let me understand what is the difference with Power Automate, and I can make flows when things happening, and I make a flow with Power Automate, and every time that I get an email from this with this subject or with this person, it help start a flow, and doing all that kind of stuff we already talking about right now. But now we have like the agents. It's a co-pilot. What is the difference?
So with Power Automate, we can automate, of course, but it's really a static way of automating it. It's a flow, and you walk through that flow based on yeses and nos, maybe some other data, but there is no text analysis in there. There is no intelligence in there.
Mhm.
It's really if else then do that. With agents, we can use Copilot as a brain for decision making.
Mm.
So we could ask Copilot questions like, I have this meeting at a customer. I live in The Hague. The customer is in, let's say, Amsterdam. I need to be there at 12 o'clock. How many travel time is required? We can
Mm.
make a very exact estimation of that and put that in my calendar.
So the first thing I need to think about is like healthcare.
Oh,
If I
yeah.
think about healthcare and all kind of scenarios you have that right there, like medicine, what kind of medicine, how, yeah, all kind of scenarios that decision you need to make based on things you already know. You
Yeah.
can let Copilot learn. And of course, you're there as a person as well involved in that. But yeah, a few things are definitely right away in my mind. But the other thing
Uh,
I'm thinking about is like it's your personal co-pilots. But in this scenario, you're also talking about like team effort, teamwork. So
yeah.
not only me as a person on MX5 Copilot, but also me and you working on different blog posts that we do, for example, for Team Copilot. So
Yeah.
how can we use agents for our work, like in Team Copilot, to make us work easier on that?
That's. I haven't thought about that, and we haven't standardized our processes that much. So, I think where it can help probably is creating the video script, putting stuff in our calendar based on the video script. So what we can do, we can create a custom agent. We can learn it how it can create a
How
video
we
script.
thinking?
Yeah, how we're thinking and how it can create a video script that we use for our AI in every cities, for example. One thing that we do in that series is go to different spots in a city to record our stuff over there. And in between those spots, there is some travel time. We can convert that schema into, or that video script into our calendar. That's one thing that I'm now thinking of that we can use Copilot for, or Copilot agents for.
But also, if there are new things from Microsoft, for example, about Copilot, we can ask things like, okay, deliver it to us so that we know what's new, what's coming, and
a trigger. A new blog post has been made by Microsoft. Create a video script. Yeah, that's a way of automating it. Yeah.
make it.
I don't know if I like that, but it can work. However.
Oh, get me informed. That's also all what I need.
Yeah, that is. But then you could also use an RSS reader to read the RSS feed of Microsoft. But
I need to put it in my calendar. Then I need to check it out, how it works.
Yeah, and one thing where I think an agent will probably stand out is deciding whether we should put the new thing that Microsoft announces in our video. So let it analyze the impact of the stuff that they are announcing, and based on that, do a recommendation whether we should record a video about it or not, or talk about it in the podcast or not. Because then you need to analyze the stuff, let it think of the impact that it will have on society, on businesses, on organizations, and give us a recommendation. It took a bit of time to think about that.
Yeah. But you're there.
Yeah, that's
one other thing that I want to ask, if we look at like all the things that we have, like M365 Copilot, we have like Copilot Studio, agents, but also Azure Open AI.
Yeah.
What are the difference for you?
It all depends on the scenario. I think you should think of the scenario, and based on the scenario, you should choose the right tool set to fulfill that scenario. I think a lot of stuff can be done with Copilot Studio. It's quite easy. It's all text-based. But most of people probably will understand it once they learned a bit about it. Azure AI is more complex and can be used to train a lot of other large language models. Aside from the OpenAI stuff that we already know. So we can train Microsoft V over there, Gemini, and all that kind of stuff. So that's far more advanced. So you really should think on your scenario. And you a couple of minutes ago, you brought up healthcare. And I think healthcare, in some cases, will benefit from having agents running or having a large language models running locally. Because if the internet connection breaks, people in the hospital still need to go undergo surgery, for example. If AI is being used over there, you want to have the model running locally. So the surgery can continue when there's a problem with the connection. I think we should really think of scenarios and based on that, choose the right tool set.
Yeah.
What's your opinion about it?
No, but yeah, I think the same. It's about which kind of scenario you have, which kind of tool you wanna choose. But I always believe, like, if I talking about M365 Copilot, it's a good start. It's a good starter to learn about how to use Copilots. on your different M365 applications, for all the users to learn what Copilot is, how you can use it, and later on using as well Copilot Studio, or next step is the agents, or more like role-based Copilots on finance or in sales or that kind of stuff. So I believe it's good to start somewhere and finding out the right use cases you want to use for making next steps. But it's really good to understand what you want to achieve, what is the problem, what are you wanna do, wanna yeah, what is the thing that you want to achieve with that kind of Copilot or AI solution. But what I say earlier, I have the feeling that a lot of people thinking they can do everything with M365 Copilots. And that's like more like personal productivity. And it's really good to understand where are we and what is the solution that we wanna get.
Yeah, it's not completely true what you're saying over there, because we can use Copilot Studio also to create AIs
True.
or
True.
co-pilots that we face on our external website, for example.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
the thing is, Copilot Studio is very low weight in code and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very basic, still advanced, but there are not a lot of things we can change on the behavior of the AI. And if we have a scenario where we need to change the behavior of the AI or have different requirements to its availability, then we need to look at, for example, the Azure AI Studio, where we can train, for example, Microsoft V, a small language model that we can run locally on our devices. Or another AI that can generate or analyze images, for example. So it really depends on the scenario, and
Yeah.
probably most of the scenarios can benefit from Copilot Studio already. But what I'm seeing in my field, I'm also a developer, and I see a lot of developers directly going into the Azure AI Studio because they already have Azure Access, and Azure AI Studio is cool. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing without any good argument. Well, no, we need to go to Azure AI Studio. That's where we can do the build the LLMs. Yeah, but also with Copilot Studio, you can create external facing LLMs. So yeah, but both of them do the same. Where Copilot Studio does the basic stuff. If you would like to do more advanced stuff, then Azure AI is probably
Way.
your tool of choice. Okay, so we are almost ending this podcast. But what was your cool experience over the past 2-3 weeks with Copilot? What have you seen that literally blew your mind?
Oh, blew my mind. In the last 2-3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, since the last podcast. Since the last podcast.
One of the things that I saw is now like visual creator in Copilot. So in my Copilot chat, I see also visual creator. That's Microsoft Designer, but they give it a new name, I think. So creating an image, I use that now like more than ever,
Cool.
because first I really needed to go to an URL, logging in, always log in, and it was not really easy to use or on my mobile, but now it's in my chats. So I think I use Designer like all the time for my presentations and all that kind of stuff. But I know you have also a good tool as well, and not a Designer, but another tool to make some image. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah, it's better, but we should ask questions about it, whether it's ethical or not. I use Grok, which is the AI by X of Elon Musk, and that can create really amazing pictures. But there's no filter on it. So if it's copyrighted, it can create images of it. You could ask it to create pictures of people like Trump or Biden or whatever. I
That
don't
is really
think
good,
that's.
right?
I
Yeah.
don't think it's ethical, but the quality of the images is amazing. It's mind blowing, actually.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not that the same with designer, but of course, using the right prompts to get the right results. I think we had a conversation a few weeks ago on the chat together with someone in a train using
Yeah.
the phone. I think that was also really, really good. But also make it like a cartoon. Or I saw some people who did make a superhero about make it based on my chats, on my chat, my calendar, and my emails. What kind of superhero am I? And make a design with
Yeah,
designer.
what I really see over there, I think it's powered by Dolly, and
Mhm.
the way how
True.
you write your prompt really affects the
Mhm.
image that comes out of it.
But it's
Um,
strange that it's like in the other kind of toolings. I have always the feeling that it's easier to get better results because they are fully focusing on creating images, and that's the only thing that asked there, I think. But also the things like that what you told about like Trump, for example, and all that kind of stuff. They're showing that all kind of things there is no filter on it. So yeah, just wondering if that's the thing because there is no filter on it. You get everything.
yeah, it's and I
If
think
it's
it was
better.
at the
Yeah.
the MVP summit that they told that when you apply filters on large language models, they lose a bit of their power.
Hmm.
So that might be the reason why, for example, Dolly is creating images that are, uh, from a quality perspective, less good than Grok,
Yeah.
because
But
it doesn't have a filter. It doesn't have it.
mm, one of the things that I also mentioned or seeing is if I'm asking, like, for example, make a picture of a woman in a train, then it's always a blonde woman, like like a Barbie kind of female.
Yeah,
Um, and never the first results are like someone with another skin, for example, color of skin or
yeah.
another. It's
Every AI is biased. So is Dolly. So is Grok. So is GPT. They all have some, some way of bias in it.
Mhm.
Probably it's trained a lot on blonde women or
Yeah, I
anything
think
like
so.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you, what is your best prompt or thing that you?
So my highlight of this week was I am designing a portal for my customers, and I actually would wanted to have feedback on it. So I uploaded the picture to Copilot and asked Copilot act as a C-level member and give feedback on the dashboard. It was a design of a dashboard. What do you think is good? What are you missing? Do you have any enhancements? And it came back with really good feedback. So
This is
my
crazy.
first round of feedback actually was the AI, and after that I got to the customers and let them shoot on it. But that was
That's
really
really good.
nice.
That's really good. So if you look at like I have a presentation to a customer or something like that, you can also ask like, okay, this kind of presentation of this kind of slide, does it? How does my the people in
Yeah,
the room how do they achieve this? What
yeah.
are they thinking about this? So how can I make
Act
it
as
better for?
my audience. You
Yeah.
are, let's say, a C-level board member or what job you can think of. give feedback on my presentation or design or picture or whatever.
Don't say you do training, but make it a masterclass.
Well, exactly that kind of feedback it was giving me. You are pointing out some technical stuff over here. You should better talk about measurements instead of the technology. That was nice, Copilot. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That was literally one of the points of feedback.
Maybe we need to ask feedback as well about our podcast or our blog website. Or
in fact, I did. So in the previous episode, we were talking about uploading chat logs to
I don't want to know this.
to Copilot. No, I didn't upload the chat log of our Teams or WhatsApp conversation. That's safe, Femke. Don't worry about that. But I uploaded the transcript of our last podcast to it, and I thought let's give some let it give some feedback on it.
Okay.
First,
okay, I know what the feedback was, but you don't need to say how many times it was. But the feedback was that we say a lot of or I say a lot of
Yeah, me too. And I think in this podcast we broke the record again. But also doing something with the intro, or there was a lot of useful feedback over there. So if you're listening to this podcast right now,
we want your feedback as well, not only from AI.
Exactly, but the first iteration of feedback is already given by AI. We already improved based on that.
It's funny how we work. Everything we do, we use something like, okay, how can we make it better?
Yeah, that's exactly. Always pushing the boundary.
Nice. I think this is a really close one. Closing end.
Yeah, it's already late, so it's time to close this. Time to close this episode. So thank you for listening or viewing, if you're viewing us on YouTube, and of course, we hope to see you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.